I am here with Derrick Jaxn.
Satin.
Do we have any friends in there yet? Do you want to wait for them to come in?
We're going to be watching in reverse.
You're right. So Derrick, we were having a great conversation over there. The love story is dope. Go ahead and recap your love story.
I engaged with so many people with love story, first off.
This is an exclusive. Do you understand? Exclusive behind the scenes footage with Derrick Jaxn.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about your love story for those who have not watched your videos yet. Most of my followers have, because I've shared.
Even with the videos, you probably won't get the love story necessarily.
Okay.
But if you read my book, it tells you a little bit more about this. But just to quickly recap, I met the love of my life at 19 years old. But we got into a love that neither one of us were ready for, you know, and I credit myself with the undoing of our relationship, just with all the things that I was on in terms of pride issues, in terms of instead of handling difficult and uncomfortable situations, I ran from them and how that made her feel, and ultimately infidelity as well, because I felt like that should be my safety net or something like that. So 3 years after meeting my wife, who is now my wife, we broke up, we went our separate ways. She needed to go through her own process of healing and things that she realized about herself during the relationship, and I needed to get myself right. You know, so in this process, I had somewhat of a frustration because I felt like I came into this situation unprepared. And because I was unprepared, I lost something very valuable to me. So now I'm like just immersing myself in what do I need to do to get right, while I'm also expressing everything as I go along in this journey. And that was when the whole social media stuff kind of started, because who is this guy talking about relationships every damn day? I was like, well, this is what's on my mind, because I got to get right. So a couple of years later, I hit her up, I expressed my intentions, I made them clear that I had gotten to a new place, and if she was still open to even evaluating me, then I wanted to make a push for being her future husband. So we got back, and she was open to it, kept me at a distance for quite a while. And then, now here we are. We have 2 beautiful children. We are married and living at the rest of our lives together.
Wow, I love that. Okay, I'm sorry. You guys know I was so happy. I love story. I'm sorry. So let's back up. You said that I heard you say something about you wish that you were more prepared, or you were frustrated because you were 19 to 22.
19 to 22, but you know something? I don't give myself that excuse, even though I understand the circumstances. I hope that at least the brothers, and I was saying this about Pastor John Gray, because we have a similar story in that we came in not ready for what we got into, but then we eventually got ready. You know, he got ready within his marriage, and I got ready.
But how is a 19-year-old? How is a 19-year-old?
We have to change the narrative.
Okay.
I think we can do that. I think we can shorten the learning curve, especially brothers like us. But we have to change the narrative so that as guys are coming up, if they're not ready for a relationship, they have that gauge to know that they're not ready, and they don't cause the collateral damage of going ahead and jumping in one. So if you're not, like at 19, like I said, I wish I had not met her. Not at least not and jumped into that role in her life that I did. I wish I had not. And it would have risked not having her today. But whenever you look across to somebody that you care about and you still see scars that you caused, like there's the regret.
Okay.
So yeah.
And I have family members, male family members who are 19, 20, they're in college right now.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of one of my cousins because he's single. He's choosing to be single right now and not hurt someone.
Right.
But why do you think someone gets in a relationship at that age? I mean, it's not like they're getting in it to hurt someone, do you think? That wasn't their intention.
No. So what happens is,
someone navigate that?
well, we're trained in a sense for one sport. And then we meet a girl that we just cannot deny. She's awesome, we're compatible, this is great. And then we jump into the other one because we were taught that whenever we met that right woman, everything will fall into place.
Okay.
That's where all that, that's why I can't stand the nonsense of, the man will act right for the right woman. It's like, it don't go like that, man. A man will act right whenever he's right, whenever he's prepared correctly.
So he may go into one sport, he's single, then he meets someone that he knows she's a good woman.
Right, y'all have been prepared for a relationship.
Okay.
We've been groomed to be hoes.
Okay.
And we're going to be just real about it.
Okay.
From the age of a young kid, we've all been high-fived, and we had different girls that liked us, and da-da-da. So we get into this thing, and we're like, relationships don't really need proper preparation in terms of a man, because this right woman will inspire all the qualities I need to properly love her.
Okay, so when you meet, this man who's been taught that way.
Right.
Because this is really good for parents. I have a lot of followers who have parents who are bringing up young men. My son is 13, so I'm asking real questions.
Yeah.
And there are those who are in college right now who don't want to hurt someone.
Right.
what should we teach our boys
First
specifically?
off, if you haven't prepared for that woman, if you still are sexually undisciplined because we feel like that's part of being a man, supposed to sow my oaths. I mean, if I see it, I want it, supposed to go out there and get it. If you're still in that stage, you're not ready.
Okay.
If you have things that need to heal from your childhood, like for me, I didn't have my pops, and the way my mom had to work 2 or 3 jobs year round, I internalized in a way that made me broken ultimately and not ready for a relationship. I needed to get that right before I got into a relationship. We need to have more dialogues about that.
Okay, so but when you met her, and I agree with you, when you met, do you share her name or you don't share her name?
Danae, yeah.
Okay, so when you met Danae, hey D, I hope you see this. So when you met Danae, you were out there sowing oats.
Oh man, all over the damn place.
Okay.
But I did stop.
But you weren't done.
But I stopped.
You stopped for her, but you weren't done.
Exactly.
So you were forcing yourself based off what you were taught that I met this amazing woman, I'm not letting her get away.
Right.
And you thought that because she was amazing and you wanted to do right by her, that those desires would go away like that.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
We all have intentions.
Mm-hmm.
Those intentions
were
right.
Okay.
And our absolute best, our intentions are they're going to show. But then whenever things ain't so great, whenever there's an argument, whenever somebody says something hurtful, misunderstanding, now we get ready to revert to our default, who we really are, who we haven't dealt with, who we've been hiding.
Okay, so the healed version of Derrick, the healed version of Derrick, and the healed version of Danae, what happens now when you reach those obstacles?
Oh man, it's completely different. Our conversations are more effective. There's more patience. There's more humility. There's a process in which we even verify that we accurately heard the other person before we even speak. Man, we had to go through counseling, like I said, on a personal level, just had to get right because before things would just pop off and somebody gets emotional and shuts down mentally. And then whenever I feel like I'm being shut down too, now I'm going over here to be understood by somebody else. And that's not how you handle a relationship. You know, it's uncomfortable to stay in it, but that's what you're supposed to do. So yeah, now we're at a much completely different place. I'm so grateful.
Oh my God! So when women heal is our platform, right? We believe that when women heal, we are in relationships, we enforce boundaries different, we know ourselves and we love ourselves. We don't put that on someone else. Right? So I'm sure Danae had her own journey and her own process. So she's not here to talk about that. So D, you can reach out to me though. We can talk to D.
She like exclusives and whatnot.
But I like exclusives. But my question to you is, what was the healing journey like for a man who's lost? There are men watching. I know some who've lost amazing women. Not that women haven't lost amazing men. Okay, it goes both ways. But you're a man. I want to get your perspective. For a man who feels like he's lost an amazing woman, you were blessed enough to get me back.
And we don't all get those second chances.
What did the healing process look like for that man that really needs to focus on healing before trying to get? Because the woman is not the heal. That's not the real reward. She is, but the healing first is the reward that leads to the ultimate healthy relationship. Would you agree with that? Yeah. So what was your healing journey like?
Well,
what were you doing?
There's a lot of learning and unlearning that you have to do. You know, there's a lot of reconditioning. And it really starts with taking an honest look at yourself without the pride and ego and saying, okay, like my own personal interest removed, what do I need to do? How do I look at this situation that I was in that situation? You're almost doing, I won't say an overhaul on yourself, but you're just revisiting all the different situations that were problematic. Another thing for me personally, and this is going to be different for everybody, like I said, it moves back to my dad not being there and my mom, and I'm not just trying to always throw stuff back to, I ain't have my dad, but it's how I interpreted it. You know what I mean? I had an insatiable need for attention and the need to be wanted and desired and understood at all times. I had to take a trip to Jamaica. I had to go holler at my old man and get his side of the story, put him in perspective of why he wasn't there. I had to have
Wait a minute. So you went back to reconnect with your father?
I went back to Jamaica to
How many
reconnect with my
years
dad.
were between?
20. I had not seen him in 20 years,
I just did that with my dad.
Really?
I did. I just did that with my dad, and I tell everyone, I can't say I wish I had done it sooner because I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to have the conversation before we had it. Once we had it, it was divine timing. but I felt different than I thought I would. I really enjoyed our time together more than I thought I would. What was your experience like with your dad?
I was able to see him as a human, in a sense. And we don't really look at our moms and dads like that because they're right or wrong. I mean, they're just a gold standard.
Yep.
But I had to realize that he was flawed just like any other human, you know, and stop attributing his flaws to my way, you know. And then on top of that, I had to talk to my mom as well because there were certain situations that strained our relationship at times, and it increasingly, I guess, made that wound. So after I had those conversations, that was a root cause of a lot of issues. And once I got through that, as well as the unlearning and relearning of things, I've been on this since then.
I can relate to, you guys know, for those of you who follow me, I've shared so much about my story, right, Nicole? And it's true. What I love about what Derrick is saying is forgiveness and compassion does not mean that the pain didn't happen. The wounds happened, the pain happened. But as you mature, you start to appreciate that maybe someone did the best that they could, right? And when you appreciate that everyone does have their own journey, our parents are human. The person that chose to be there, whether that meant working 3 jobs and maybe they were there as a provider, but maybe absent emotionally. You know, you never know what someone's living situation was like. You get to a point where you do have that compassion and grace for the fact that people did the best that they could with where they were, right? And at some point, we have to take accountability for the life we want. And that's what it sounds like you did, right? And so part of your healing was reconnecting with your dad.
And detaching his decision from my life. That was a big part. Like a lot
The
of times,
decision to leave?
like, yeah. So not necessarily he didn't necessarily leave. He got caught up in the life and all that good stuff. But it was like after the fact, him not reaching out. I always looked at myself in the mirror and said, well, that must be indicative of how worthy I am. To be loved, to be wanted, to be desired by anybody. If my old man don't even want to talk to me. So it was about really detaching, and that was difficult to do until I met him and I was able to put him in perspective. Like, he just F's up sometimes. And I could totally see how 20-something years ago he was just F'ing up.
Why do you think 20 years passed once you talk to him? Does one day just turn into a week and then a month and they're like, well, it's too late to reach? Did he say it was just, he felt guilty? What was it?
Well, the same way that we were affected by the way that we were raised, he was as well. So his dad doesn't even claim him. Like, he doesn't have a dad that says that this one is mine. So, you know, I just looked at him like, well, you know, I wouldn't necessarily say product of his environment, but more so product of his experiences. And he didn't all the way come from that either.
Okay, nothing. Wow. So forgiveness, was it there before the trip or during the trip or after the trip?
It wasn't necessarily a matter of forgiveness, but like I said, more so detachment. It was like he's his own person, and his decisions doesn't define me as the man that I am today. Okay. So what am I going to do about me right here, right now? And that was difficult to do until I met him. Because before then, it was always, my daddy did love me, you know? My mama didn't show me a proper amount of attention because she was dead tired from work and everything else. So I always looked at it as my identity. I identify with that. Now I'm having to detach and say, well, they're their own people, their decisions, what they did in that time, what they thought was best, or what one person just messed up and can't go back and undo. Now I have to deal with me, Derrick Jaxn, the person. What do I need to do in order to move forward, my man?
I love that. Derrick, do you have advice for any of the men specifically right now who are not in their children's lives? And it's just, I mean, for various reasons. I'm sure you hear
sometimes sometimes it's, you know, by force. You know, it's like, oh, a mom that doesn't want to talk and da-da-da-da. I would just stress and emphasize the importance and the value of your role in your child's life. How it's going to affect them as they move into adulthood, their relationships, their self-esteem, how they pursue their dreams. Like, I know we don't really get this a lot as dads, and I am a father now, but we are important. We do matter in our child's life, whether it be a son or a daughter. So I would just like to re-emphasize on a personal level, and now that I am a father, like, I take that as well. Like, even though I'm trying to pursue dreams and everything that I do, I always make time for my kids. Because I don't ever want them to look at me. I'm trying to learn from the decisions of people that came before me. I don't want them to ever look and say, you know what, daddy didn't show me enough attention. He wasn't excited enough about the things that I had going on. He always chose business over my dance recital or rehearsal or whatever. So I would just emphasize that you guys be reminded of your importance in your children's life, both right now and through the long term.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yo, Oprah
Don't
Winfrey,
forget
you got me over here talking all this deep stuff. Oh, it's emotional stuff.
Don't forget your crown. So, Derrick, tell the viewers why you named the book "Don't Forget Your Crown."
Again, okay.
They didn't hear other pre-exclusive.
They're not going to hear that one?
Well, they might. But...
Look, don't forget your crown is essentially a call to remember who you are, right? A lot of times we forget that because and it's not going to be the exact same. I never can explain it. I can never explain it the exact same way.
No one knows that happened.
But my whole MO is to remind people who they are. You know, remember how you deserve to be treated. Remember the standard in which you are to carry yourself. Remember the things that you've been through and the mistakes that you made, and don't make them again. And don't tolerate those same things again. Don't forget your crown is a call to do exactly that. When you meet somebody, you can't go through the same, like you can't step in shit twice just to be reminded that it stinks.
Right.
You've already been there. Somebody played with you before. Why are you getting played with again?
Yeah.
You lost that good girl before.
Yeah.
Why are you doing the exact same thing again? You know, do you feel like you have to settle for this, or you want this, or society says you should have that? Fuck all of that. Operate from a place of what you deserve, not just what you desire in a moment.
Wow. And we have to do that for ourselves, right, Derrick?
Absolutely.
Because one of the ladies in the audience earlier was talking about why men approach her a certain way, and I'm like, a part of my healing process meant not being so guarded.
Yeah.
I love that you talked about discernment versus
having just a wall to put
this
everybody
wall
out.
or this spirit
Which
of
is
bitterness,
natural.
right?
It's
you
natural.
can't have the bitterness spirit.
It's natural. If it's intended to, and you're not intentional, you're easily, because it's a reflex. I've been hurt. It's like when your mama whooped your ass when you were little. You know, next time she saw on that belt, you jump. You know, it's natural.
Okay.
You know, you didn't know. You had to be intentional about staying and taking that ass whooping, or else she whooped you even more.
Right.
Because now she got to work harder and run after you.
Did you get a lot of spanking?
I got a lot of
That is he.
I always run it back to the
His analogy's
whooping.
always running back to the whooping. So tell mama. Okay, mama, he got it.
It kept me off the streets, though.
He knew. You did what you had to do
Never
to
been in
get
jail.
Derrick to this.
Never been in jail, never been on drugs, so it worked out.
So Derrick, right now from a business perspective, what can we expect? What's coming next?
Oh man, I have Self-Crowned, the journal, coming out.
Okay.
It's just going to help guide people in their emotional and mental state throughout the day, so they can attract better and they can keep better once they have it. As well as from that, I'm creating a VIP membership of people that want like a hands-on involvement from me. So check-ins, accountability, exclusive content, that kind of thing. I'm creating an entire online community, but we're really going to get busy with Q&As, the whole nine, as they fill out this journal. This is for the people who own the journal, and which journal actually free if they want to get a month in the membership free as well. So that's what I'm creating. I'm launching on the 1st of January.
Oh, we get to know the inside scoop. So you're launching the membership community.
Membership. It's going to be it's going to be a VIP membership community. It's still in the works. You know, it's all coming together in the next 2 weeks. But it's for people who are really trying to go to that next level. You know, but the videos in general touch on a lot of topics, and they go viral, and they help a lot of people, hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions by now. But I want to be able to one-on-one give you an action plan, set out, see what's going on, evaluate text messages that you're getting, help you decode through the bullshit if need be, and us to also have a direct line for you to be able to ask questions as you date, or in a relationship, or trying to heal from that last relationship.
That's awesome. You guys know, if you missed it, Derrick said that he's recently married. He has 2 children, and he just had a son on Mother's Day.
Yeah, my baby boy.
Yes, he has his son. And so, Derrick, before we close, what have you learned? We know your biggest challenge was writing the book, but what has 2018 taught you?
Oh, man.
And I got that question from a friend of mine, Noble. Shout out to Noble. He's asking us, what has 2018 taught us about us?
It's taught me that everything is a process. And a lot of times we have this plan on how we want it to go, but then God says, no, in certain points you are supposed to fall back, you're supposed to lose a little bit, you're supposed to be set back, you're supposed to have some kind of pain. All the things that we ask God or whoever it is that you pray to save you from, a lot of times that's a part of your process. So you need to embrace whatever it is that's happening, because it's not just happening to you, it's happening for you, as I said before. So a lot of things, like I said, this year I had to be patient. I had to be consistent in writing that book while I'm hearing my baby downstairs and my daughter, she's playing. I want to go down there with her right now. I had to learn how to be more structured. So in that discomfort, I learned patience, I learned structure, I learned organization, and I also committed to my projects to see it all the way through. So now we can have a lot more time together, and there's my income coming in all over again on the level that it needs to be, and I'm able to move forward. So yeah, I would say it taught me that everything's a process.
Instagram. I love that. Guys, make sure you follow Derrick Jaxn, connect with him. How can we support you, Derrick?
Man, if you type in Derrick Jaxn on any of the platforms, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, I'll come up. And look for the one with the most followers because there's all kind of catfish accounts out there. But yeah, check me out. DerrickJaxn.com has all of my products, all 7 of my books, as well as my mentally stimulating card games. Amazon has both of those things as well. So if you just type in my name, I'll come up.
Okay. Yes, and I know that to be true. Guys, go look for Derrick, follow Derrick, connect with him, watch the videos, order the book, card game, membership coming.
All that.
It's all types of stuff coming. So make sure you follow him, connect, and thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.